baby. We are live and direct. You guys are in the place to be. It is Thursday. You're rocking with Coach Wood. You already see Q, the guru, all the way to the right. And we got a very, very special guest tonight. So first and foremost, my boy that's originally from St. Louis, but he hails from Houston as we speak. What's going on, guru?
What's going on, Coach? Man, we got another great show, awesome guest, great subjects, man. We about to dive right back up into it here in a second.
Let's go. And I see you got a slurp or something going on over there. It's getting hot. It's summertime.
But it's ice water, right?
There we go. So let's get into it, you guys. Obviously, you're in the place to be if you are an aspiring football player, if you're a parent of a football player, if you're a coach. We got a great show for you tonight. We got an amazing guest that has a lot of expertise, you guys, in the college world and football world. Right now, he is the current defensive coordinator for FCS Division I program, Morehead State, and he's about to do big things out there in Kentucky, and that is none other than the great Coach Joe Montag. How's it going?
Going well. Appreciate you guys having me on tonight.
Definitely.
It's a little later on the East Coast.
Yeah. A little later on the East Coast, and we're not going to keep you long, Coach, but we appreciate you coming on. We got a ton of athletes that are looking forward to hearing from you. Once again, you guys, this is a coach that is doing big things. He's currently at FCS Morehead State out in Kentucky. They're expecting big things from the defensive side this upcoming season. Coach has really been at some reputable universities, some big-time programs. He's coached at Miami. He's coached at Purdue. He's coached at Houston. And then right now he's with Morehead State, most recently Louisiana-Lafayette before that. Beautiful campus, you guys. Looking forward to finding out more about the university and about the program. So really pumped up to have Coach on tonight. And let's get into it, Coach. I mean, I know that this is a new position for you. How long have you been in Kentucky?
I got here in the middle of February, so it's only been a few months. We hit the ground running, had a few weeks to kind of get our feet in the ground before spring ball started, and then it was spring ball straight into recruiting, and we're going to roll into the season. Yeah, we just hit the 100 days until kickoff, so I mean, it's it goes fast.
Wow. Yeah, it goes fast. And seeing some people already with us. We got the great Eric Fall saying ready for tonight. Of course, my mother-in-law always holds me down. Hi, son. Happy birthday. My birthday was this week, so we love you, Mom, for that. And we're ready to get after it, you guys. So, Coach, you've been coaching for a while. I mean, you pretty much jumped right into it after being a player. I know you had a short stint where you were doing some regular 9-to-5, but you hopped right into coaching. And I wanted to ask you, when did that light bulb come on for you that coaching was what you needed to be doing?
Honestly, I really always knew I wanted to. I was like as a kid, I'm drawing plays and playbooks and things like that. When I was in high school, I would go to my high school practice and then in the evening go and coach Little League after that. So it was always something I wanted to do. My Little League coaches said to my parents when I was 8 years old that one day he's going to be a coach, and that was.
Right.
I don't know what it was. I just it was something I always felt a calling to do and always wanted to do, and
that's cool.
And I've been blessed to have, an unbelievable journey. I've been with great coaches, been around great people, and had a chance to go to obviously name some awesome places, and work with some fantastic players that I can't say anything other than I've been blessed. So,
that's
awesome.
huge, Coach. I mean, to know that young, you must have been a little savant out there drawing up plays and doing your thing. So obviously, it's always good when young that you have a calling for something. Talk to me about the transition from player to becoming a grad assistant. A lot of athletes that even we work with may be similar to you, where they know they want to coach in the future, but they don't know the route or the steps. What's the steps to become a grad assistant and get your foot in the game?
Right.
So you want to get into college coaching, especially if you don't already have a really good entry. Like it's what people talk about. It's the sleeping on the floor. It's the doing the work nobody wants to do. It's the showing up first and leaving last. And, like if somebody's there in the building working, how can I help you? And what can I do to help? I was, my father was an electrician. My mom had 3 boys. She stayed home to take care of us. Like I had no entrance into football. I was at Bridgewater College. I ended up, hurting my back and having to cut my playing career short. But, I was there, and actually there was a football class that I took while I was in school there that the head football coach, Mike Clark, taught. And he knew, we had talked about me wanting to get into coaching. And he talked about, because he was the DC at Virginia Tech, like 2 guys before Bud Foster.
Okay.
So, obviously, Bud Foster was forever, but he was there. And then, like, when he got, pushed out at Virginia Tech, he took the head job at Bridgewater and was there for 20-something years. He talked about, if you want to get into it, he said, go to the highest level. He goes, it's like nothing you expect. It's way different than any other level of football. I mean, Bridgewater's a small D3 school in Virginia. He said, go see what it's like. The University of Miami had a fantastic grad program for sports administration that had a really good track record of people getting jobs. It was like, maybe like half the NFL teams and a third of the NBA teams. And there was all kind of different jobs. So it was like, okay, if I wanted a job in athletics, and obviously being in Miami, there's every pro team, there's everything that you could imagine is there, right? So, there's NASCAR, there's anything. So I get into the grad program down there knowing that I could get a job and I could, figure some things out. And I'm down there trying to interview and get stuff. While I knew I wanted to get in with the football program, I knew that I better, make some other roads in case that doesn't happen. But the sports administration program, there's big on internships. So they got me hooked up with the assistant DFO and the DFO over there. And really, again, being blessed, timing. I walked in, they said, okay, here's some stuff you can help us ops. I did that for about a day, and it ended up the day I came in was a day that the volunteer they had quit. So I did that for a day, and I was the defensive assistant helping Coach Hurley Brown with the linebackers a day later. So I'm in there sitting in the meeting room, and we got Denzel Perryman and Raphael Kirby.
Mm-hmm.
And, Jermaine, Alquan. You're talking about real ballers, and I'm fresh out of college.
Yeah.
I'm green and wet behind the ears and trying to figure it out, but was really blessed there. Obviously they thought I did a good enough job. I got a little bit of money to stick around a second year. So they paid me as an analyst the second year to be there. And was told that, I did a good enough job. I got my degree, but was told that, I would get the GA job, when it came open, when it was going to open in December. But, we got beat pretty good by Clemson the year they won their first natty when Deshaun Watson then went off. So that was the end of us in Miami. The head guy got let go. And, obviously new guys come in. That's not their promise. So,
yeah.
So
I didn't think about that. So the grad assistants can even be in jeopardy.
So I wasn't a grad assistant at Miami. So I was a volunteer my first year and an analyst my second year. It was going to get a grad assistant job, but I didn't get it yet because we got fired before I got the job.
I got you.
I was going to get it, right? So the guy that was there was timing out. His time was going to be out. And it was like, look, you do what you did last year. This year, we'll take care of you.
Yeah, I got you.
So when we ended up getting the staff ended up getting let go, I could have stayed, but it was one of those, you're not really guaranteed the analyst position. You're nobody really knows. I wasn't even I worked my way and fought my way into being able to get into staff meetings to where I'm back out. Nobody knows who you are. Stay in the back. Nobody So I was lucky that the D-line coach that was there was Randy Melvin. Randy Melvin got the D-line job at Purdue.
Okay.
He got an OPA job, and as soon as he got it, he called me. He said, "Come on." He's like, "Look, it's not a great situation. There's a new AD coming. We're probably going to get let go in a year, but it's a job. Take it, figure it out.
Come on with it, yeah.
You need one. Come on. We'll figure that out next year. But here's one this year." So luckily took that, went up there with him. And so that was my first GA job. Was really Purdue. I got to work with the D-line and learn D-line play under Randy Melvin.
Okay.
Amazing, coach. And thank you for sharing that. Because you got to be ready with your bags packed. So, I appreciate you sharing the honesty. And for you young athletes that may want to be like Coach Montag and Coach one day, you heard him. You got to be willing to sleep on the floor, eat the top ramen, and knock on people's door to get the opportunity. So thank you for sharing that, Coach. Let's go on to our next topic. And if you're joining us for the very first time, you guys, all the topics are right there on the bottom ticker. Everywhere you've gone, Coach, it seems like you have done a great job. People have always wanted to bring you, like you said, to the next spot. And there's been a fast uptick in production. I know you guys are expecting the same thing at Morehead State, of course. More on your plate now as the DC. But I wanted to ask you, Coach, when you look at a new opportunity, whether it's as a position coach or maybe it's a whole new staff coming to take over a program, in your opinion, how does a team get off to a fast upgrade? How does a team change everything faster than later?
So it's really, everybody getting in unison and getting aligned, right? Alignment is everything, right? If everybody's pulling in the same direction, things move fast. When people aren't aligned and you're not moving all in the same direction is when there's issues, right? So, I was at Purdue, the year with Hazelhart last year that did not go well and ended up getting the staff fired. And I was lucky enough to stay when, Jeff Brom came in. He brought Nick Holt as the DC. And the biggest difference I felt was from top to bottom, from the DC down to the scout team guys, it was aligned. Like, guys believed in what we were doing. Guys believed in the messaging, believed in the expectations.
Right.
And, it did take, it didn't happen overnight, but they saw it and they saw it work, and it kind of just spiraled and quickly everybody got aligned, and we were able to kind of get on a roll late in the year. But we played Lamar in the season opener the year after he won the Heisman in Lucas Oil Stadium. And we went into halftime. It was, a tie game or a 3-point game. And it was like, we were a 3-19 the year before. We're in a ball game where it's like, we got a chance to win. Like, we're in the ball game with Louisville. Like, and it was like the first half, everybody's like holding, waiting for it to like fall apart. And you came in at halftime and you looked around. It was like, wait, we can actually do this. Like, we can play good football. And it kind of just built from there, and you still had your ups and downs as the season goes, but I think we rattled off 3 or 4 at the end of the year to get bowl eligible, to get to 6-6. And then we won a big one against Arizona with Khalil Tate, who was another Heisman finalist that, we were able to get. So we ended up playing really well. And it was really the guys getting aligned, guys believing in what we're doing, and then playing with phenomenal energy, right? Like you play with effort, it overcomes a lot of mistakes, right? You can make a lot of mistakes. Like, obviously, our job as coaches is to eliminate it and try to minimize mistakes and whatever. The first job is to play hard. And people say you don't coach that. Like, you have to coach that. That's a non-negotiable. You will not play if you don't play with effort. But you have to, like, that is something that when you play with phenomenal effort, great things happen on defense. And that's first and foremost something that you always have to get done.
Amazing right there. And that's interesting because I've never heard a coach say you have to coach effort. But I could see that, effort to your standards, your standards,
And guys will give you what you want, right? Like, I'm very excited about the guys here because they're very coachable. Like, the guys will give you exactly what you want. Like, if I ask for it, I'll get it. Now I better word it right, because if I have it worded wrong, I'm going to get exactly what I asked for. So if I didn't articulate it in the way that I want it done, I'm not going to be happy. So I'm very, I guess I'm different than people. If I have to coach effort, we can't coach football. So effort has to get fixed first, but we will coach effort. And I think toughness. I think toughness is a skill, and we can build toughness, and we can make guys tough. Like you might not be able to go from Charmin to a physical football player, but you can go from being kind of soft to he's pretty tough. You can go from he's got some toughness to that's a bad, like that. You have to demand it. You have to acknowledge it. You have to coach it. You have to tell them when that's not the standard, and you'll see guys that they'll rise to it.
Yes, indeed. I see talking about rise to it, one of our young superstars, Sadite Green Jr. We've actually talked about Sadite with Coach. Checking in. I love you, man. Thanks for checking in. And then the great Jimmy Rucker says, like you guys always talk about, established relationships.
Man, I'm telling you.
You never know.
I'm telling you.
Yeah, and Coach is great at that, you guys. That's why people bring them along wherever they go because they know what they got. And he's got great aptitude to develop relationships. So I appreciate you, Coach, really sharing that. Good job, Jimmy. So let's go on to our next topic, you guys. And this one is something that definitely caught my attention. And I'm going to start with you, Q. I'm going to start with you. The transfer portal. The transfer portal has recently closed. New day and age in college football. And guys are definitely getting paid tangible dollars, real dollars. And this is the current market. Q and Coach, that they said, if you're a Power 5 starter, and we're recruiting a Power 5 starter out of the transfer portal, this is what you could expect to pay: $500,000 to $800,000. We know it can go over that for a quarterback. Running back, $200,000 to $300,000, and you guys see so on and so forth. So I want to start with you, Q, and ask you, man, when you look at these numbers, that these guys are making, is there anyone that jumps out to you? Let's look on the high end. Let's look at the 800, the 300, the 300. Let's look on the high end. Is there any of these numbers that jump out to you as being a little too high or a little too low?
I mean, as far as a quarterback, I mean, man, I wouldn't say 5 to 8. I mean, Coach, me and you have had conversations over, these numbers for a while, man. I mean, you're talking a Power 5 starting quarterback, depending, especially if you're talking about a blue blood program, you're talking about $1 million easy. Again, we keep saying a couple of months ago, when Nebraska's head coach made the comment publicly, like everyone thought, no, he was spot on. Like spot on, man. Like you're talking it easy. So it really 800,000 for a Power 5 starting quarterback out the portal. That's on the low end.
Okay.
At 800,000. I mean,
now obviously quarterback is going to be the number one. It's the number one position in any sport. Right. But next, if you're looking at the highest number, you're looking at D-line with $600K. Do you think that's high for D-line, or you think D-line should be the next one up?
I mean, no, it should be the next one up. Between O-line and D-line, so that's fairly accurate. I mean, be it that how the game is, and it's a heavily passing type of offense generally. In college football, your D-line is everything. And the thing about it is not, Coach, I'm sure you'll agree, is you got to be deep at D-line. Because you got to constantly have your hogs pinning their ears back and coming full throttle, So, man, if your guy's getting gassed, I mean, if you run a 4-3, hell, you're going to need about at least 6 or 7 D-line. At least. Indeed. You see what I mean? So, depending on what defense you run, especially. So, I mean, man, these numbers are, fairly accurate. Like I said, I agree with, except for maybe the quarterback, man. But this is what we're looking at, man. And the numbers are only going to go up over time. So,
yes, indeed. Coach, what do you think? I mean, you're living this. Obviously, you're at the FCS level, but, I mean, you've been at big programs. Do any of these numbers seem too high or too low to you?
I guess
for our current day and age?
The range is really probably saying more like the medium, right? Like I know there's going to be quarterbacks that are higher than that. I'm sure some of the elite receivers are as well. The one I think that's low is really DBs. I think, as much as they throw the ball around, like – corners to me are so highly valued, and especially like even looking at like the JUCO and the portal guy. Like you look at the positions that go first, and then guys that fall up late is O-line and corners, where it's everybody. Like every place I went into, high school or college, is like, or JUCOs. You walk in and the coach is like, yeah, you and everybody else in the country is looking for O-line and corners. So I do agree with the D-line. I guess that being high, if you got a real guy. But what you said, there's so many guys that have to play and you have to be deep there. I could see that being lower. I think the corner spot is one that I'm shocked that that's really the lowest.
Yeah.
You don't have corners. Good luck. I mean, I don't care what you call.
There you go. So, yeah, this is real, you guys. I mean, I know for some of you parents, I see Jimmy. I know for some of you athletes, you're like, wow, is this real? This is real. This is real, especially if you're playing at the Power 5 level. So, this is what the coaches are dealing with and the athletes. And if you guys are maybe an eventual starter one day at the Power 5 level, this is the range you could expect. So, very, very interesting times in college football. And, with inflation, those numbers will probably go up. So, it's going to be interesting to see how it goes. But let's go into the next topic, because we're already talking about the whole NIL thing. And this was a big one. This was a big one, you guys. Former Florida signee Jaden Rashada sues coach Billy Napier of Florida and others, some of the collective representatives, over failed 14 million NIL deal, you guys. And I'll be honest with you, and I'll start with you, Coach. I've never seen, and I've been around football quite a while, I've never seen an active player at one school suing a current coach at another school in the same conference, let alone. As far as this goes, do you think that we'll see more of this? Is there any way to, or any ideas you have to maybe curb us having more issues like this?
I think it's really going to depend how this settles. You know what I mean? How this ends up panning out. I mean, that's going to be the precedent. This is the first. So the precedent's going to be set, right? If this gets thrown out like it's a joke, you won't see it. If the courts side with the player and he's able to, get something out of this and it goes, I think you'll see a lot more of it. I mean, that's kind of just the way court proceedings work, right? Like, people have a chance to make money, they're going to. I don't know anything about how the thing fell apart, so I don't.
I know you're a live coach. You don't want to say too much. You might be trying to get a job from one of these coaches.
But it's crazy. Like to think that this is the day and age and where college football has gotten is just, I don't know, man. It's really mind blowing. You talk about what 3 or 4 years ago, if you would have gave a guy $20 out your pocket, like, he'd have been eligible. Like, there was no lawsuits then. I can promise you, the guys were getting a damn
Facts.
Yeah, no, this is crazy. Talk to me a little bit, Q. I mean, do you think we're going to see more of this? Is there any way to make sure? I mean, this kid is saying that, hey, there was false promises. He wants his money. He may settle and get a couple million out the deal. But do you think that he should be allowed to do this? And do you think we'll be seeing more of this?
I don't think that he should be allowed to do it. I feel like that, if he's saying false promises, he's going to have to define that. But if there were any made, get it in writing. Right. Again, that's why we keep going back and saying that these kids, they have to understand how much of a business this is now, because now we're talking about significant amounts of money. So if there's any type of agreement made between myself as an athlete and a coach, coordinator, AD, anyone of that nature at a university that I'm attending, as far as NIL situation, we're going to need that in writing. And these kids need to start incorporating, obviously keeping their parents in the equation, but possibly in regards to an attorney having to do just with NIL. That way, everything is copacetic, man, and it's in writing. That way it's no argument. If anything goes left, that kills the discrepancy. But it could be a possible ripple effect, man. And we probably won't be the last time that we see this, unfortunately, man. So it's a lot of we keep saying this, Coach T, it's a lot of restructuring that they're gonna have to do with the NIL, because it's slowly getting out of hand. I think that we're all for, athletes, getting paid what they're due. God knows, we would have loved to have that as well. So obviously we're going to be a fan of that, but it's got to be some type of parameters on it. I keep saying over show after show, it needs to be some type of curriculum provided by universities, like an NIL 101 that's given by the university, that's mandatory for all student athletes, right? because that way it's ways of preventative that's going to help the athletes, but hell, it's going to protect the universities in some cases too.
Yeah, and I know some schools do have some things for NIL. What were you going to say, Coach?
They are doing those. The issue is that that's once you're on campus as a student athlete. That's not the recruit. Those aren't the high school recruits.
Yeah, this was
recruiting. He was a high school recruit. Like now, like the guys that are in the portal and transfers, like they would have had it, most of them, right? But that's the.
Let me ask you, Coach. If Jaden Rashada was your son, and obviously he had a decent year this past season at Arizona State, good enough to transfer to Georgia. If Jaden is Coach Joe Montag's son, are you saying, son, let this go? Or are you saying, hey, we were kind of drug under the bus a little bit. Let's go get that money.
Yeah, I guess it's hard without the particulars of being in the
behind the scenes.
Right? Like that's I have no you know what I mean. If you're not actually in the room, okay, everybody's got the big public numbers and everything that came out, but I don't know, man. That's a hard thing to say with very limited information without,
right.
If you're actually in the room, you have that's the crazy thing, right? The people in the room now, you don't know. I mean, there's when you're talking about that kind of money, right? There's lawyers that are always involved with everything that because they know they get a cut.
Mm-hmm.
So, this might not even be a Jaden thing. This could be somebody, hey man, you got a chance to really get paid here. You're gonna get your NIL stuff at Georgia. Why not double down? Make it.
Yeah.
You can't. You don't. But there's so many things that you don't. I don't know.
Yes, indeed. No. It's this, and this is you guys. This is ongoing. This is real time. NIL is moving daily. So like Coach said, it's going to be very interesting. We just saw the NCAA have to do a big settlement.
Hey,
it's going to be very interesting to see if Coach Napier and this collective have to pay Jaden Rashada. It's going to be very interesting. It will set a precedent because everything's new with NIL. So, Coach is right. We don't know all the particulars because we weren't in the room, but there were people who do know. And then Q the Guru's right, too. You better get something in writing. Okay. So this will be more continued in the locker room show. But we're on to our next topic. Actually, we see a bunch of people jumping in on that one. The great George T. Tram, former Colorado State Ram, says there's a ton of things promised during recruiting. Not all of it comes true. NIL is no different. Yeah, you're right. There's a hey, you're going to be our starting quarterback, and then you don't even play. So he's right. Get it in writing, and if not, too bad. And this is somebody, you guys, that has a son playing college football right now, linebacker at Colorado State as well. So appreciate you sharing that, Big George. Coach Fall says, and legal help with the contract. Yes, indeed. NIL, LLC, baby. Check us out. So getting into Jimmy says, great answer, Coach. Getting into our next topic. Go ahead.
I'm sorry, Coach. I didn't mean to interrupt you, but I was just sitting up here thinking, man, with all these NIL situations, man, going on at various universities, what are the law schools at these universities? How are they coming into play? They're right there. Everybody's got a law school.
Right.
You got in-house help. Right. Yeah. You got in-house help.
And some schools are actually implementing their law school and their students to help out. I think it was maybe Illinois. I saw one school. It might have been Michigan State. But some schools are, and that's the point, They're right there. The professors, everybody right there. I mean, me personally, if I'm a young kid coming out of law school, man, and it's, and I'm at a university, man, and I understand. I'm going to give me some athletes.
Oh man, I'm already here. I'm already surrounded by athletes already. What I'm saying? So that's a great place to start, man. So if you're tuning in and you're looking to go to law school, well, hell, you got
some work,
right? You're surrounded.
No, that's a great point. And you've said before also, Q, that they need to be, a lot of these athletes better start taking a business major.
A lot of the guys that are making the high end stuff have agents. They have legal representation. They're not going into these rooms with that. The guys that are making that kind of money have somebody that represents them.
For sure. For sure.
Good point. Good point. So even to your point, Coach, it might have been somebody that tipped off Jaden and said, "Hey,
Yeah.
I can get you some money." So good
Mhm.
deal right there. We are on to our next topic, and once again, you are with Coach Wood, Q the Guru, and the great Coach Joe Montag. He is the new D coordinator, you guys, at Morehead State. And we had to get into the recruiting side of things, Coach, because just like NIL has gone crazy with the portal, recruiting is crazy right now. And you're at a fabulous university that many young men would love to play for. You have recently, I'm loving you to death because you have recently offered a bunch of our BYGP athletes that I know are going to do great for you. I wanted to ask you, Coach, when you talk with the coaches at Morehead State, and you guys have been on the road recently, and you're talking about the recruiting philosophy, what are some of the key things, whether it's grades, whether it's the type of athlete, whether it's the geography, what are some of the key philosophies that Morehead State uses with recruiting?
Well, so first and foremost, us being Pioneer League and the academic expectations of our league and of our university, it really like year 3-0 where we're not even in the conversation. So that's that's not even part of the conversation because it's like if you don't qualify, it's over, right? Yeah. So that's really the starting point. Right? You're 3-0 or we're moved on. Now when we're talking about which guys we want to recruit, once you're obviously in that group already, it's mentality, hunger, and wanting to compete. Right, you got to be a guy that wants to compete, that loves football, is going to show up and grind. Right, there's with the stuff we've been talking about, the portal and the money and everything else. Like it's kind of tilted and changed a little bit how people see football. But then at the end of the day, it's still a tough game played by tough men. So you still got to go out there and play. Yeah. And the guys that are constantly moving and running, like that's not where you develop and get better and become great. Right, like you grow where your feet are. You grow where you're rooted, and that allows you to become a good player. So we're looking for guys that want to come in and compete. We've recruited a heavy amount of JUCO guys and some older guys coming in, and and the guys that are on the roster. I told the guys on the roster before I left, I said, listen, like here's the reality of it. My job right now, I'm going out recruiting. We're finished spring ball. My job is to replace every one of you. Your job's not to let me. That's how we get better. Like every one of you, I'm going out to replace you. Your job's not to let me. So. And I'll tell that to the guys next year and the following year and every year after that. My job is to go out and replace everybody in the room. Your job's to outwork the guys I bring in. And, we're looking to bring in guys that are competitive, that are ready to show up and compete. We don't promise anybody anything other than opportunity. You'll have an opportunity to compete. And if you earn the right to be on the field, you'll play. And that's Coach. We'll play as many guys that earn that right.
Yeah.
So when you look at the current roster, what is the position? You're a defensive coordinator. Can you say right now the position that you feel the most confident about, or do you feel confident about all of them? Is there one that stands out?
I think as it's starting to come together, we've gotten some commits that are really going to help. We had some needs and we had some spots that we really had to focus in. We had to bring in. We have to bring in a healthy amount of guys just based off the roster numbers with the transition with the new staff and some of the changes we made, some of the changes that happened before we even got here. We had to bring in a lot of numbers. So we really, not necessarily by our own accord or having to kind of flip the roster. I'm not a guy that's like our guys versus the old guys versus whatever. Like as soon as I walked in the door, every player that was in there is my guy. Right? Those are my players. Those are the guys that I'm going to battle with that we've got to work on. We got to get better, right? And until they decide that they don't want to be a part of our program. So, we've got great players in the rooms and across the board on defense. We got guys that can compete and show up, but we need more competition to make them better, right? Iron sharpens iron, and if there's not enough in there, right? If there's not enough heat in the kitchen, you're not getting nothing cooked. So we're just trying to turn the heat up and make sure that we're bringing in guys that are competitive that can compete to take the jobs of the guys that are on the roster, to make sure that we're constantly trying to every day move the needle and get better. And so I think I feel good about everywhere, but at the same time, I'm not going to be complacent anywhere. So we're going to get the best players we can at the best spots, and come camp, it's going to be balls to the wall. Go
see
get
what
it.
You got, yeah. Yeah,
I
that's the
love
fun.
it. I love it.
That's the fun part. Is really like strapping it up in camp and seeing what you got. Yeah, especially
and
that first scrimmage. That first scrimmage, it's
well. That's I mean, it starts because I mean every team defensively, every team period we have is graded, and like the backers come in the room and the depth chart is on the wall, and it's based off the grades. So however you grade out that day, it moves. So it moves each and every day. And they know when I send them the grades at night after practice, they know, like, they come in the room. If I didn't get a chance to change it on the board, like on the whiteboard, like they know, they're like, Coach, that ain't right. I'm supposed to be here. Like, because they sit in the room according to the depth chart. So it's creating a little bit of so it's we're constantly trying to, in every way we can, create the urgency and the competition. You know, and I mean, you can start practice, you can go out there as a starter. You're not locked in, you're not doing what you're supposed to. No, next guy's up. Like, we're gonna roll. Like we don't have time to wait. So the urgent, like, anything we can do to create urgency, we're going to. I mean, there's no time. Like, we have to. We're gonna play. We're gonna kick the ball off.
Yeah.
What, it was 100 days yesterday. With 99 days, I've got 99 days to get ready for the game. So like, there is no like. It ain't no. It's all right. We'll figure it out tomorrow. Like, no, you got it right now, bro. Like,
And I just like that, man. My ears perked up when you said just like the seating arrangement. Even that's just because that'll work on you mentally. Like, damn, I was sitting in that chair yesterday. You know what I'm saying? So you going into the next day like, damn, I gotta bring it, man.
Well,
you go from like this, you know.
Well, you go from like, it's cool to sit in the back of the room to like, no, I want the first seat. Like I want to be the front. Like it's not cool to be in the back because in the back means you can't play. So like, you got guys chomping a bit, and you're not in the back, up back there sleeping. You're back in the back like mad, right? Like, you're looking around like I ain't back here tomorrow.
Yeah,
and if you're not like that, you ain't gonna make it long.
I like that idea.
I love it. Coach, tell me how to impress Coach Joe Montag, who I just met. I was already on the team last year. Now they flipped the staff. I got a new DC. Or maybe I'm a junior college transfer coming in. How can I get off on a good foot with Coach Montag?
Handle your business, right? Like the one thing that gets in the way, right, is when you can't show up and handle business, right? You do things wrong off the field, you'll never earn trust. You'll never get the opportunities, right? And then the way to impress is phenomenal effort. Like, the first thing that any coach, regardless of what you know, what you coach, whatever, I don't care if it's an offensive guy. When you see a guy that is flying every opportunity, he is balls to the wall, 100 miles an hour, every snap he's on the field, everybody notices that. So you could be dead wrong. You could not know nothing. But when you play that way with your hair on fire, and you run like there's everybody remembers the guys that play like that. Like, everybody remembers like Troy Polamalu running around like a lunatic. Like that sticks out in your head, right? When guys play with that kind of phenomenal effort, right? That stands out. Like, you don't have to know anything. Like, you don't need to know the defense yet. You play like that, we'll figure out how to teach you.
Yeah. And the thing is, it's like defensively, when you have guys like that, man, the whole defense will start feeding off of that one or two guys. And it's like, okay, because now it's like you in the huddle now, like, damn, who got the next knockout shot? Because my man out here just cold cocking people. So it's like, damn, who got the, you know what I'm saying? Who's going to get the next pick? And all of a sudden it's like, oh, damn, now we're playing fast because they're feeding off of those guys like that.
You're racing to the football. Like, I'll never make a play if I'm playing slower than him, so I better get moving. But that's the way in which we play. Like, that's like, we're heavy on loaf, so we get after it. Like, if it ain't like the standard's the standard, you could be running like, is that full speed? And they'll sit in the room, they'll look different. Like, no, it's not. Like, he's running. Like, guys are running, and you like. There's times I'm watching the film and I didn't even give him a loaf. I'm like, are you running full speed here? And I'll just ask. And half the time they're like, no, coach, I need to run faster. But you set the standards, you hold guys accountable, and you're constantly talking about it, you get what you demand. Like, it does not matter what it is. It does not matter what you believe in or whatever. Like, guys have done this a million different ways. You get what you demand. When you demand it, it happens.
Yeah.
I love it.
One thing I wanted to add, Coach, it was funny. I was sitting up here thinking while you were talking, man, like, I remember years back, and I was in talks with the Bengals, and I had an opportunity to meet with the great Dick LeBeau. I was out at the facility, and I was watching, just watching various tape and breakdown. He showed me this highlight film of the defense, the defense of the previous season, and it was nothing. It was weird. It was nothing but just pure effort plays, and a lot of them, check this out, a lot of them were strips and scooping scores just because guys were flying around and just making plays like that. Just pure effort, running guys down, grabbing claws, strip, guys coming up, your guy comes up, scoop and score, we get a fumble recovery. That will turn a whole game around. Hell, that'll turn a whole season around, depending on where you're at in the season. So yeah, man, like I know for sure, I can agree with you on that, man. Being a DC, man, is this getting your defense, man, to that level where it's like they're talking. Because that's the thing too. I talk to a lot of DCs, and it's like that. In addition to effort, players, for you guys listening to the defensive players, pardon my French, you can talk your way through a lot of shit out there. You can. Even though coach is there and he's there for you, or he's up in the box and they're there, you got your man on the field talking, man, on defense will get you through so much.
It allows everybody to execute, right? It allows everybody to execute. Everybody gets on the same pen. If everybody's thinking, right, like everybody talks like think less, play faster. Well, if you talk more, less people are thinking because you're getting the information, right? You're sharing the information, so everybody's not having to have the same thought. Everybody's hearing the same thing. You're able to play faster. So you allow everyone to get on the same page. Everybody plays faster, and then you get better execution. Yeah. So I mean, you have to communicate, you have to fly the ball, and then you have to take the ball away, right? Those are you do those three things, you'll play great defense. It don't matter what.
Facts. Facts.
Like if you do those things, you'll play phenomenal defense. We had at least two in our spring game. I mean, we had busts, right? We ended up getting a couple guys hurt. We were light, and we were playing with some young guys that had no business being on the field with ones and stuff like that. But we would have plain busts where it was like, okay, ball got caught. Guys are flying. We got two strips like that. Two strips. We took the ball. We're talking about off of 15-yard gains. Like it was like, what are we doing? Okay, good job. But guys bought into that. That's the expectation. That is the way in which we play. Yeah. And when we get there violently. We get there with an attitude. We get there with the mentality that we're going to take the football away. So.
Definitely. I love it.
Coach got me ready to go.
I'm telling you, man. When you're a good, DCs are way different than your offense.
DCs and strength coaches.
We're okay.
A whole other breed, baby.
Hey, they are. DCs are like, look, we'll win 7-3 all season.
I mean, they'll be hot. Offensive coordinator ready to jump off a bridge. DC like, we had a great
I will say, really, realistically though, like at the end of the day, you got to win. Right, whatever it takes. Like, as long as Morehead comes out with one more point, I don't care. Obviously, we go and win games, 7-3 and stuff like that. Then we're like the top school in the country all time as far as points given up. But like, as long as we're winning by one more point, right? Everybody wants. You got to be able to win games, right? You can give up 10 points a game, but if you lost every game 3-10, nobody cares.
Facts.
Amen.
Facts.
Amen. I love it, Coach, and we got a lot of young players that are looking at Morehead right now. Coach has offered 4 or 5 of our players already, and there may be a couple more coming. I know we're hoping for Judah, and I know Nate just committed, or you guys just offered. So you guys got some ball players that are coming from our program to yours. I know Big Terry. Jordan committed, and these are all high effort kids, Coach. So I'm so glad, I'm so pumped up that they're going to be coached by you, and I can't wait to see what you do with some of these kids. I know you guys are going to be pumped up. So let's get on to our next topic, you guys, and of course we are so elated to have Coach Joe Montag on tonight. He's taking his time away from his game plans, away from his recruiting to give us some love. So we appreciate you, Coach. We are on to our next topic, and this is a big one. This is the lightning round that everybody loves with the lock. This is our version, Coach, of a little word association. So we got a list here of some either or of some people, and all we want to know, Coach, is the first thing that comes to your mind. Unfiltered, no worry about thinking about it, just let it rip. D-coordinator style. Well, maybe not D-coordinator style.
This is still a family show, right?
This is a family show, but let it rip. And we're going to get after it. We got 60 seconds. Let me start my watch. And like I said, we're going to take Coach to a little word association. So I got a pretty good list here. And we're going to hear the first thing that comes to Coach's mind. And right there, you see, I got him at 0. So I'm not cheating anybody, Jimmy Rucker, who's always watching me. And then you guys, we don't just do this for fun. So we don't just do this for fun, Coach. I know you're new to Kentucky, so I don't know where your favorite food spot is. But if you can get to 17 or higher in 60 seconds, you got a dinner on the locker room show, okay? A dinner on the locker room show. Let's get the party started. I got my list. You see coaches at 0. You ready to roll, Coach?
Yes, sir.
Here we go.
All right. The
go.
lightning round. All right. He doesn't sat up and lean forward.
I don't know where this is going.
So, all right. First thing that comes to Coach's mind.
Here we go.
That comes to Coach's mind. Number one. Bridgewater University. Go.
Well, I went to Bridgewater College. That was in Virginia. Yeah, that was the
Virginia. Say that. We're gonna start over. We're gonna give Coach a mulligan. Because he wants to go deep on us. We want to go quick, Coach. So Bridgewater College, we're gonna reset. We got Coach. We're gonna reset them. All right. So go quick, Coach. Try to keep it to one word. All right. Because this is gonna go quick. You gotta get 17 or 18. All right. Number one. Bridgewater College. Go.
Growth.
Coach Jason Woodman.
Great coach.
Gatorade or coconut water?
Coconut water.
Patrick Willis or Brian Urlacher?
Patrick Willis.
Your favorite birthday cake?
Dutch chocolate.
Best player you've ever coached?
Ed Oliver.
Hold a boa constrictor or hold a tarantula?
Boa constrictor, I guess. The bad combo.
Favorite football movie?
Remember the Titans.
J-Lo or Selma Hayek?
Yeah.
Chicken fettuccine or chicken parm? 57 seconds. Frosted Flakes or Captain Crunch?
Captain Crunch. Peanut butter.
Time. We got Coach. We gave him a little bit more time there, but we got it good right there.
Coach, I thought you were gonna get him a best player he ever coached, because I know he's like, damn, I done coached a lot of killers. Like, that's gonna be. I thought I was gonna get him right there. He did.
That usually calls people.
Yeah.
So let's add them up.
I mean, Ed was a top 10 picks. I mean, that's
right. Yeah, facts.
Yeah, at Houston. So let's add them up and then revisit a couple of these. So once again, 17 for the tie, 18 for the win, because we've had a couple people in the past get 17. So number one was Bridgewater College. That was where he went to school, played linebacker. Coach Jason Woodman is his current head coach at Morehead State. So that was there. Bridgewater, he said growth. Growth happened there. Gatorade or coconut water? He's going with the coconut water. Hard one here. Patrick Willis or Brian Urlacher for number 4. He's going with the Pat Willis. Number 5, favorite birthday cake. He's going with fudge chocolate. Keep in mind, he gets one for tech delay because we're in different states. He's going with the fudge chocolate cake. Number 6, best player you've ever coached, the great Ed Oliver at Houston. Number 7, he didn't like the boa or the tarantula, but he's going with the boa. Number 8, favorite football movie. He's going with Remember the Titans. Great movie. Number 9, did you say Selma? J-Lo or something? He said neither. Okay.
No, number
10.
I went J-Lo.
J-Lo. Okay, J-Lo. Okay. He's going with J-Lo on that. Number 10, he's going with the chick parm over the chicken fettuccine. And then number 11, he's going with the Captain Crunch over the Frosted Flakes with the tech delay. He's at 12. And we appreciate you, Coach, for joining on us, having a little fun. Since you did coach at Miami, we'll do one for the road. You going Michael Irvin or Reggie Wayne?
Yeah. Ooh.
Hey.
Reggie Wayne was probably more my era. I watched him play more. Michael Irvin was a little older than me. And Reggie Wayne actually was coming back around campus. Like, he was there watching spring balls and stuff, and was still in the later years of his playing. But So I guess I got more.
Go with Reggie.
I'll go there.
More love for Reggie, more of an affiliation with Reggie, and two
Reggie's
great
cold.
Miami
He's
Hurricane wide receivers right there.
Nice.
So appreciate you having some fun with us, Coach. And we got a couple people coming in, lightning round. AK, see Jimmy gonna get after me because Michael Bishop thought I was cheating him. Michael Bishop. And then we got the great sports agent Fletcher checking in. Wow, great show. Coach, keep being you. Very familiar with your body of work. Yes, at Louisiana-Lafayette. Yep, took them to a bowl game. So appreciate you coming in. Great sports agent Fletcher. Got to get you on the show too, but thank you for joining us. And of course, Coach Joe Montag. We are on to our next topic, you guys, and appreciate all of you guys for joining us. Please like, share, subscribe. It does good for our show. It does good for the algorithms and puts us in front of the right people. But we have an audience Q&A question. If you guys are with us live, the comment section is open, as you see. So if you have a question for Coach Montag, please do not hesitate. But Q, I know you got something for Coach.
Definitely, Coach. So the question I have for you this evening, I know a ton of coaches are dealing with this, is being at Morehead State and being where you've been and developing great players for your defense, for example. How are you gonna go about or handle, should I say, if you have any type of, we'll say, poaching of larger schools trying to come for your guys and you trying to hold your defense together?
Yeah, it's a tough one.
Yeah.
In today's world, I mean, that's the reality that we live in. You hope that's not the case. I do. It's hard for me to look a kid in his face and tell him that if he's got the opportunity to make the kind of money that, we showed earlier in the show, that they shouldn't.
Yeah.
Right. Like, so that's the reality. Like, the reality is, at the end of the day, right, if you're in these for the right reasons, you're in it for the best interest of the guys. And, if it's in their best interest to move on, then I'm not going to be the guy that sits there and tells them not to. Now, there are a lot of hard realities that aren't exactly what you think it is when you do get poached and you do leave, right? It's not always what you think it is. That money they're promising you might not be the money you're getting. It might be the money that the guy who starts at that position gets, and they're bringing in 4 guys that are going to compete, and you might not be the guy that gets the money. So
that's true.
It's not always what you think it is. Point. So, I think when the situation's real, and we had the same things happen in Louisiana, then it's no different, right? Mm-hmm. If you have a good relationship, you hope that you build enough trust that when the time comes that you can have a very honest and serious conversation about it. And there's guys that do, and there's guys that handle it that way. There's other guys that, when it comes to that point in time, they tell you that, the people they trust told them to do something else. And, they trusted you for years, and all of a sudden, it is what it is at that point. But there's not really a whole lot you can do.
Coach, do you think that some of these bigger schools are getting after these kids once they go in the portal, or do you think there's active poaching going on? Okay.
There's a lot, and there's a lot of different ways it happens, but it is definitely the reality of college football right now is that is like guys in your team, like if they're playing well, are getting hit up.
So it's almost an expectation that maybe if I'm at a group of 5 school or FCS school, this kid's player of the year, that you just know he's getting called.
Like that's. I mean, we're getting ready for the bowl game, and there's guys that are like, we're having active conversations about how much money they've been offered. They've not gotten it.
Wow. All right. Well, hey, you guys, this is why we wanted to bring Coach on, because he always lays it plain, and if you really want to know about this industry, the Locker Room Show is where you need to be every single Thursday. So you get it straight from the coaches, the ones that are living it, the ones that are going through it, you guys. So, Coach, thank you tremendously. I know you got a million things on your plate with just getting a new job, but congratulations.
Definitely.
Well-deserved. This is just the beginning, so don't forget us, please. And we look forward. We know that you guys already got Terry, you got Jordan. I know you've got offers out to Nate, some of our other kids out here. I know we're working on Judah. So thank you so much, Coach, and we just wish you the best of luck.
I appreciate it, guys. Thanks for having me on.
Definitely,
All
Coach.
right,
Appreciate
all
you.
right. So, hey, there you guys have it. That is the great Coach Joe Montag. I mean, Q, you can already tell, man. He's gonna do big things. It's just a feeling. It's just a feeling, man. I think he's legit, dude.
Yeah.
And,
Definitely.
This is his first D coordinator job. You know, this is his first step up, which I know that he's taking super serious. But I got pumped up, man. I'll play for Coach.
Oh, definitely, man. And it's with being a great coach, man, it's just understanding how to get the most out of your boys, man. You know, and really getting everyone on the same page and buying into what you're trying to accomplish, right? So and he's good at that. You know, that's something that he's worked over time to master. So, you know, having the privilege, these kids that have gotten offers and having the privilege to be able to play for a coach like that, definitely need to take advantage of it for sure. You know, because there's not a ton of coaches out there like that. I don't care if it's Power 5 or not. You know, again, this is business. So when you run across coaches that still are in this era that actually still care about the players, you know, versus just W's, then you might want to take a look at possibly playing at that school.
How can I tell that if I'm a recruit or a parent of a recruit and everybody's whispering sweet nothings in my ear?
Well, first of all, you gotta look at who's whispering the sweet nothings in their background. You know what I'm saying? And if that's who we first need to look at. And then also too, that's the beauty of what the era that we live in, man, with the internet. Do your homework, man, on who's recruiting you. What's their track record? Right. So that you need to do, just like they're doing research on you as an athlete, you need to do your homework on who's recruiting.
Yeah.
It goes both
good
ways.
Point right there. If you were a betting man, what do you think about Rashada? You think you get any money, or you think it gets tossed out?
Man, I think it gets tossed out, man. I think it gets tossed out when they look at, the potential of what he's going to be making at Georgia or whatnot, man. If he does get paid anything, it'll be a small percentage of that deal, because that actually could be inflated numbers. Now, if it's something concrete in writing that he can prove that there was a deal of that magnitude that was lost, that's in a contract form, now we're talking about a legitimate legal fight. But I don't think he can bring that to the table.
Yeah, that's going to be an interesting bout right there. I mean, to have a head coach and try to get into the head coach's pockets. It's going to be interesting to see how that pans out. But hopefully you guys enjoyed tonight's show. We had the great Coach Joe Montag, Morehead State. A lot of you young athletes, a lot of you parents don't know about this school. Start doing your research. Because Coach is going to do big things up there. They just offered a bunch of our kids. We've already got some kids committed to Morehead State, and I'm excited, Q. I think Coach is the real deal, man. So,
definitely.
Yeah, so we appreciate you guys joining us. Come back next Thursday. We've got another great guest. I'm not going to let you know who it is, but we got another great guest coming your way, and this is the spot. A lot of you guys are in the off season, so off season is the time to get better. You come to the Locker Room Show to get better. Q, anything for the good people before we get out of here?
Hey, we'll see y'all next week. For you athletes out here, stay healthy, keep working, and like Coach said earlier in the show, hey man, it's about to be time to strap it up here in a minute. Before you know it, it's first kickoff, the band's playing, and we got to see where you at.
Yes, indeed. All right, baby. We'll see you at the top. You guys have a good one.